Welcome to Great Greys, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Yes, hello, good morning and welcome along to the final edition of Great Greys on TAB Radio here on this Thursday morning, the 13th of November 2025. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling very well. It's been an absolute pleasure over the years to produce this particular program, and mainly because of you, the listeners, and indeed the talent that I've worked with along the way. And we get one last crack today with the Shane Train Williams. Jace Campbell will be with us. Unfortunately, no Hall of Famer Neil Brown. He's involved in a conference today there at Healesville, so he won't be with us, but he has left us with his thoughts for Warrnambool tonight and also Sandown there tomorrow night. Sean Matheson, and we'll round it out with a chat to the Olympian in Simon Orchard. So plenty to look forward to over the next 45 minutes or so here on Great Greys. Let's welcome in our great mate. He's been a wonderful acquisition for TAB Radio. He's promoted the industry with absolute distinction, and it's great to have him on the program one last time on this Thursday morning. The Shane Train Williams. Hello, Train.
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. How do we find you today, mate?
Yeah, going well, mate. Beautiful Thursday here in Perth. The sun's shining, great racing. And the opportunity to have a chat to your good self and also the rest of the team here on Great Greys today. I'll be working through until Christmas and then taking a redundancy from there. So up until Christmas, I'll endeavour to get a hold of the tips of all of our crew from this particular program and still post them up across the social media and also the Tab Touch blog. So all of our listeners, while I'm here, the sport of greyhound racing will always be a main priority in regards to getting publicity and promotion, and we'll certainly do that right up until Christmas, and then we'll reassess and see what it looks like in the new year with some new work-life stuff in that particular space. But Train, I want to thank you particularly. You bring great entertainment, enthusiasm, energy to any program that I've worked with your good self, and found a truckload of winners for the punters. So we very much appreciate your work on the way through.
Oh, it's a pleasure to work with you, Shorty. You're a very passionate greyhound man and someone that's done this sport a lot of good things over the years, and I don't think we would be probably where we are now in this great state, Shorty, if it wasn't for people like yourself and Peter O'Neill. So thank you very much, and hopefully we can send the punters out with a few winners over the weekend.
That's what it's all about. That's what we love, and it's this sport. You know, people ask, how do you get involved? Well, it's the sport that gave me an opportunity to be involved in the racing industry to start off with. The sports and racing industry while I was at uni was hosting the Punters Club all those years ago out at Cannington, and used to get some great crowds, and guys like Dave Simonetti and Craig Evans were a great help to me early on to give me opportunities. So I owe a great deal to the sport, to the people, the trainers, the owners, the punters, and the animals themselves. They're the ones that put the show on week in, week out, these beautiful greyhounds. So I'm just so grateful to be able to do something to help the people that have helped me along the way. And we do it one last time on this show, but like I said, it won't be the end of what we're doing here. I'm sure whatever I end up doing long term, we'll still have, I'll always have some skin in the game when it comes to the sport that we're involved with. Let's see if we can't find a few winners for the Punters Train. Just quickly before we get into some winners for this weekend, I wanted to go back to last Saturday night there at Cannington and touch on the win in the Young Stars Classic at Group 3 level of Just a Piastri for Chris Harrison, Justin Warwick. The early speed in boxes 4 and 5 gave the greyhound a lovely card across, but this dog did the rest from there. And, you know, to be having such a low amount of starts going in, just the 5 starts to it, start number 6, take out a Young Stars Classic final, is a credit to the dog, the trainer, and just how much promise this greyhound has got heading forward. This is traditionally a series that is reserved for some of the very, very smart greyhounds that we've seen over the last 40 or 50 years.
100%, Shorty. I got to be honest, I didn't give it much hope from the 8 last week, and it proved me wrong with a good getaway and getting that fly over early. And you're right, Shorty, you go back and look at the honour roll of this race, and it's littered with stud dogs, Greyhounds of the Year, stuff like that. So it's a very good race to win. And, yeah, hats off to Chris and Linda and the team there. But also I want to give a good shout-out to Justin Warwick. He bred this litter and he obviously owns the dog. And he's done a tremendous job, whatever he's touched his hand at, all 3 codes. So I actually messaged him after the race and said it's a good dog's race to win this race. So well done to him and all the team, the Holston Britain team up there at Nambalup. So well done to them all. And, yeah, he's got a very promising career, this dog, that's for sure.
Big time, and that breeding to the fore as well, with Tommy Shelby, our star stud dog, our star chaser from yesteryear. Now throwing it into the pups, and of course the damn Weston Violet, she has been a wonderful producer. She just keeps throwing these really smart dogs. So great to see. It's a really nice story and a continued success story for 2 people that have had a lot of it, in Chris Ellison, Linda Britton, and also in Justin Warwick. All right, let's swing our focus to Friday night before we get your Thursday night tips. This is one of my favourite nights of chasing each and every year down there at Mandurah. We have heats of the Mandurah Cup at Group 2 level. It's just always littered with dogs that are the best of the best across here in WA. And it's exciting because a lot of them don't do a lot of their racing down there at the coastal circuit. So you've got a lot of X factor, a lot of unknowns, but some of the dogs that do a lot of their regular racing down in that neck of the woods do get a pretty significant advantage. And a greyhound like Spooky Hook, for example, that has been absolutely flying of late down there at the Mandurah circuit, is really well placed with a series on over this trip that's been an absolute pet distance for this greyhound in recent times.
Yeah, it certainly does. It does look like his home track, and everyone's there to try and beat him on his home track. And I've got to be honest, I thought a couple of more dogs might have had a crack at the Mandurah Cup. Dogs like Surf the Sun has been killing it over the 400. I thought he might have had a crack at the Mandurah Cup. Sure, he's stepping up in trip, but Darren Nelson's kept him to the 400. He's in on the night in a free-for-all. So there's not too many missing. I think Miss Envy's over east now. She might be tackling some bigger features over there. She seems to be the only one missing from the local brigade. And, yeah, they're all very good heats. And, you know, there's good 2, 3, 4 chances in a lot of the heats, Shorty. Yeah,
they're good depth, as you touched on there. And yeah, some dogs coming from middle distance racing back to the sprint trip, some up from 400 to the 488. So a lot of questions going into a number of these heats, and it makes for spectacular racing. And as I've said, the heat night I love because you get to see all of the dogs having a crack. Final night's always good. You get the crescendo, but heat night's always a lot of fun as well. So that should be an absolute beauty. Now, what's the latest on your Kennel Star Iconic Jet? Last time we saw the dog, of course, was in the Canning Show Cup over the 601 metres. It was run down in the last little part of that longer journey over the 601 metres by Miss Envy, the last year's WA Greyhound of the Year. So that form line's really good. 600 metres back to the 488's always been a bit of a winning formula that we've stuck with over the years. And you've now had the opportunity to give the dog a little freshen up going into Friday night. How's the Jet feeling going into Friday night's Mandurah Cup heats?
Yeah, he's actually jumping out of his skin, Shorty. He's actually feeling $1 million. I was actually really surprised how well he come through that run over the 600. I did have in the back of my mind, you know, that he might have pulled up a bit rough, but he literally come out of the run bouncing out of his skin. So he probably really didn't even need the week off, but we give him the whole week off, and the plan was just to give him a couple of gallops at home this week, Monday and Wednesday. But on Saturday morning, I just had a look at him and I thought, mate, you're doing too well. You're going to have to go out and have a bit of a gallop on Saturday. So he's just had like 3 light gallops at home in between runs, and that's a formula that's worked for us before with him in the past. I've got a good handle on this dog, and I really know, you know, what he wants and what he needs. So I'm really happy going into Saturday night. Very important for us. We draw inside. As a lot of the heats, Shorty, there on the bend start, you really need to draw inside. And he's lucky enough to draw box 2. He's got a really good record at the track. I think he's had 11 starts for 8 wins. He's broken 27. And look, I couldn't have the dog in any better shape, Shorty. I'm really confident and looking forward to heading into the heats tomorrow night, and then hopefully getting through to the final. And then you've got to draw another marble in the final. But we'll take 1 week at a time, and hopefully we can get the job done this week.
All right, so the map itself is interesting here. Junkyard Clyde in box 1 can begin on its night. Bezecchi in 3 is not known for its early pace, but in box 4 we have Timmy Tesla, who can run some of the best early splits in WA chasing. Stu McFly in 5 has raced over shorter trips and can begin as well. So there is a little bit of early pace around. Iconic Jet's still going to have to nail that start to get to the spot that it likes to be up there, leading and making itself hard to run down.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, Junkyard Clyde, I think some say he wants to use a bit of the track. Bezecchi, as we know, has got no speed in 3. Timmy Tesla's got real good speed, but we do know he wants to stay up the track a little bit. So there's every chance he could just sort of push through. And the way he's feeling, Shorty, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he just jumped straight on the arm, because like that freshen up 600 back to 5, like you mentioned. I mean, the dog's just jumped out of his skin, and I'm looking forward to taking him to the races tomorrow night.
Love it. All right, there's lots of confidence, which we love to hear from the train, and it's going to be one of the real highlight races there on Friday night. That is the third of the heats, race number 6, Mandurah, Friday. Chasing prior to that, we're looking to build a bit of a bank for the punters on this Thursday. We've got chasing tonight, first race at 5:37, a 12-race card. Take us through your key plays this evening down there at Mandurah.
Yeah, I thought we could kick it off with a dog trained by Andrew McLaren, race 5, number 7, Brave Annie. She's a nice young pup, Shorty, going through the grades very quickly. She's won 2 of her last 3 and does have a nice PB here of 22.33, which is far superior than most of her rivals here. I think should be hard to beat to kick us off tonight, race 5, number 7.
All right, Brave Annie looking to continue on its winning ways, a daughter of Bernardo and Westdale Ophelia. And when she gets it right at the start, she normally puts some pretty nice numbers on the board. So let's hope that is the case this evening with race 5, number 7, Brave Annie. Second of your plays at Mandurah?
Yeah, I found one at a bit of value, Shorty. We know the Cody Charles team's going really well, and race 7, number 7, Aston Maddox is resuming from a 3-month break, and I quite like the map for him tonight. I think the 6 dog will just come out well and head straight to the fence. And we know the dog in 8, he loves to be out there in the fairy floss, so he'll stay wide. And I just thought this gave a good opportunity for Aston Maddox to sort of be left at own early and sort of whiz down the outside, hopefully. And at around about $11, Shorty, I thought we could have something on him each way for sure. I think there's a lot worse dogs to have a little play on each way. So race 7, number 7, Aston Maddox, the second play. Yeah,
double figure odds, and the map looks good, as you've alluded to. So well worth a little spec there in race 7, the Black Rug Aston Maddox. And who are we coming home with?
Yeah, 12-1, Caribbean Cool for young Jesse Earnshaw, whose kennel's on fire at the moment. Shorty's coming off a 4-pack at Mandurah a couple of weeks ago, and this little girl's been racing really well of late. She's won 2 of her last 3, including a 17.31 win here, 3 back, and does look really well placed sitting up in the cherry. Like I said, kennel in red-hot form, and I think they can keep that going here. Race 12, number 1, Caribbean Cool. Have to stay up late, Shorty, for the best, but I think it'll get the job done for us.
9:21 train. Let's be honest, that's nowhere near late for you. Some of your best work gets done many hours after 9:21, it must be said.
Yeah, well, I think them days are just about over, Shorty. I'm getting old now, and I can't handle them hangovers like I used to, mate.
You're not alone there, but we do appreciate your work as always. We've got a couple of 7s and a 1. Race 5, number 7, Brave Annie. Race 7, number 7, Aston Maddox. Race 12, number 1, Caribbean Cool. Outside of Iconic Jet, was there anything from the kennel for the punters to be watching out for over the next few days from your camp?
Yeah, listen, I think we're taking a nice team to Kennington Saturday night, and I know I've tipped this dog a few times before, but Miss Tennessee, she might be race 3, number 1. Just desperate for the fence. Never drew the 1 box in her life. I know she's racing just to Piastri, but if you go back 3 runs ago, she did actually beat it home. She ran second and it ran third. So I've really been crying out for her to draw the 1, and hopefully she doesn't waste it. I'm going to have to go up and have a chat to her on Friday night and just tell her not to waste it, because they're very hard to get, these 1 boxes, Shorty. So hopefully she's a good listener, and she can run a good race at about $7 or $8.
Yeah, absolutely. Each way play for sure. Miss Tennessee, if she can nail that start, and let's hope she can run them along up front and give the punters a good sight for their money. Outstanding work, Train. We'll hear from you again tomorrow morning. I know you've really enjoyed working with Digby and TC and Tim prior to that on the Sports Daily. You get to do that again tomorrow morning from just after 6:30. I'll be chiming in after you with I've got 2 Friday funnies tomorrow, Train. Make sure you stay tuned tomorrow morning after your spot, because I've been saving these up my sleeve for the crescendo. I'll be very disappointed if they don't go down well. So I've got a couple there for you tomorrow. Make sure you tune in there for the Friday funny with Digby and TC from right after 6:30. And, of course, as always, we'll continue to watch your work on the Tab Touch blog with all of the winners that you provide our listeners and indeed the Tab Touch customers. All the very best, Train. Thanks so much again for all of your work on this program on the way through. Great grace.
Nah, thank you very much, Shorty. I'll be definitely listening tomorrow. I'll give you a rating. And once again, I just wanted to commend your work, mate. You're an outstanding ambassador for ground racing over here, and it's going to be the job you've done is outstanding. And also just a big thanks to everyone there at Tab Radio, Matty as well in the studio. It's been fun, and good luck to whatever you do next, mate.
Thank you, Train, and we will try and arrange for a little get together to have a sip and celebrate what's been a lot of fun working together over a pretty significant period of time for our sport. So I look forward to doing that in the upcoming weeks. Watch this space there, Train. We'll keep you posted, and there is one more hangover coming your way, so you'll have to nurse your way through there. Beautifully done, mate. Thank you. That's the Shane Train Williams with us here on TAB Radio. We're at 16 minutes after 10. David Shortte with you on Great Grays. Matty McDermott, as always, doing a fine job in studio. And Matty, we have got our first race for broadcast this morning here on the show, the first at Seymour. It's coming up in 13 minutes' time. And Glenn Ingram's got one of his best bets of the day coming up in the first.
Speaking of furthest point at 250 at the moment in fixed betting, at 340 for Zaza Best, and then Valda Warrior, who is at $6.50 and $8 Babushka's Pride. 11 or better for the remainder. There's over 33,000 in the quaddie, and race number 1 is over the 2,015 metres in 12 minutes at 10:30.
Another fine acquisition for this program. One of the most talented judges in the business, a young man going places in the sport, is Jace Campbell. It's been great to have him as part of the show in recent times. He's been good enough to join us on this Thursday morning. G'day, JC.
G'day, Shorty. How are you, mate?
Going very well, thank you, mate. Before we get into your tips, just wanted to thank you for your contribution to this program. You've become a real fan favourite. You found an absolute truckload of winners for us on the way through. So a huge thanks on behalf of myself, the team at TAB Radio, and all of our listeners.
Yeah, no, thank you to yourself, Shorty. It only feels like yesterday where our old mate Harry Buchanan was calling me up and putting me through a few test runs to see if I'd be any good on air, and hopefully I haven't disappointed over the last couple of years. It's probably been 2 or 3 years now, so time definitely flies. It's been great to know you on a more personal level, and obviously meeting you in person. And it's always been a joy every Thursday afternoon to get on air, chat with you, and hopefully provide a few winners and a bit of insight also to the listeners and the punters out there. So I'm going to definitely miss it, and let's go out with a bang, hopefully. Absolutely, and the other real upside to it is it's been a great opportunity to promote the sport of greyhound racing, which I know you have a great passion and love for, and we've enjoyed having the opportunity to share our thoughts and the excitement that we have from the sport with our listeners. Let's get involved tonight up there at the Q2 Parklands. Take us through your best bets on the program, JC. Yeah, we're going to kick off in race number 4, playing 8th-year Kenya Atomic. He was a very emphatic winner last start off this draw up the straights over the 300 metres. I think rising steeply in distance on the quick turnarounds is very good for this greyhound. He is a winner over this distance in the past, and box 8 ticks a lot of boxes here for me. I just think he's got to get a lovely run. The kennelmate box 7 has a bit of dash early himself and wants to cut hard to the fence. So I think Kenya Atomic on the fresh side, box 8, perfect. Stay in the middle of the track, find the front, and be extremely hard to run down race 4. All righty, the Fairy Floss runner, race 4, number 8. We then head to race 6 for the next of his specials. Yep, one of the staying races on the night, so the 710 metres. Playing the 2-year Gold Star Prada. I think she is going to relish stepping up to the 710 metres if her runs over 6:42 at the Q1 have anything to go off. She's been thundering home. She beat Home Fire Thorn 3 starts ago, which is real good form for a race like this. And her last 2 runs, she's only been beaten a length and a nostril by Firebird. So I think this is a bit of a drop back in class, open class back to 5th grade here. As long as she can just find the rails, she's got to keep running home strongly, Shorty. She's very strong, this bitch, and she should be extremely hard to beat in race number 6. All right, race 6, number 2, Gold Star Prada, and we round it out with race number 7 on the card, a grade 5 over the 520 metres. Yeah, race 7, number 3, She's Peakin'. I've labelled her the best bet on the program, and I think she is a moral, to be completely honest, Shorty. She's really well drawn here in box 3. Got a lovely map, Bacon in 2, very fast beginner in box 1. I think Days of Wonder will most likely lead this race. Bit of a wide runner in box 4. I just think she's peaking. Based off her run last start, she got into second position and she run down the leader in really fast time. I think she can do so once again here. Very well bred, this bitch, obviously out of Zach Manelli and Shishkin. This is a promising litter, and they're only going to get better with age and distance, Shorty. So I think she's peaking, can make it 3 on the bounce for the Prince, Tommy Savellis.
Yeah, the Prince, we know he has been training plenty of winners, and his dogs have really appreciated the new Q circuit up there in Queensland. So race 7, number 3, She's Peaking, the best of them to go with 4-8 Kenya Atomic and 6-2 Gold Star Prada. What about in Hobart tonight down there in the Apple Isle?
Yeah, sorry about that. Fly almost got in my mouth. I found 2 bets down there. Race 2, playing the 8 here, Indecisive Pole. This runner obviously doesn't have a great record by any stretch of the imagination. 22 starts for the 1 win in the 5 placings. Not a runner you see me often back in Shorty, but there's just a few runners drawn underneath him here that unfortunately for themselves, sorry, let me get that out of my mouth. Unfortunately for them, they're just going to work against each other. We've got the 1 here, Justy Bear. He likes to shift up the track, and we saw that last week when he had box 1. So don't think he's very well suited. And the 3 here, Highgate Winston, he wants to get back to the fence. So I just think with a bit of jostling underneath, Indecisive Pole can begin on his night, although his record doesn't suggest so. If he just minds his own business out wide, I think he might miss a bit of the jamming and might be hard enough to beat at the $5 quotes.
All right, so map-related, Indecisive Pole gets a look at him tonight off the Fairy Floss draw, race 2, number 8, Indecisive Pole, and then on to race 4 for the final tip tonight.
Yeah, playing the red here, Rojo Molly. She's obviously very short, $1.40 currently, but she deserves to be. She drops steeply back in grade here. She was in open company last start and the start prior. She was also in free-for-all company behind Time's Flying. She ran 3rd on that occasion. In a pretty decent 26.14. The key to her, obviously, is dropping well back in grade here to 5th grade, but also dropping in distance. 3 starts with 2 wins and the 1 place in over the 340 here at Hobart. She's a real rocket over that sort of between 300 to 400 metres. The 461 just sees her out. So I think dropping back in distance, box 1, as well as dropping in grade, they're 3 massive pluses. And then you add in Jungle Boogie, returns from a 70-day break. His last run was over 600 metres. Box 5, Ben Star, 340 for a dog resuming. He's later in his career now. Not ideal for Jungle Boogie. He might find a bit of strife early. And I think Rojo Molly, will be off and gone in race number 4.
All righty, race 2, number 8, Indecisive Pole, and race 4, number 1, Rojo Molly there in Hobart tonight for our man Jace Campbell. Rounds out his thoughts for the Thursday night of chasing. Now, JC, you've got plenty of fans out of this program on the way through. I will be working through until Christmas, still doing some content for Tab Touch and putting stuff up on the blog and across social media. So if you're still doing the form and you're happy to send them through, we'll keep posting them until Christmas, and then at that point we'll have to reassess where everything does go. Once I'm out of the building and doing some different things, we'll see what we can do from there. But on behalf of myself and all the team, Tab Radio, the listeners, the lot, you've been an absolute beauty. How can they follow your handiwork heading forward?
Yeah, well, I think me doing the form, Shorty, is a bit of a given in this day and age. I think I'd be doing it on my deathbed because I don't really like much else in my life, but I really enjoy digging into the form, and I obviously love greyhound racing. So I'll continue to do the form, and I'll definitely continue to send through an SMS in the early parts of Thursday morning, so you can post it up on the blog, and hopefully you get a few winners over the next 4 to 5 weeks before Christmas. And yeah, you can follow me over on X Campbell Jason. Drop my previews there. Obviously, I work for Racing Tasmania and a few other, I guess, competitors in the bookmaking world. So yeah, you can follow me there, and I'll be dropping my previews for Tasmania and Queensland until I get sacked, pretty much, Shorty. So hopefully that time doesn't come up too soon. If not, I'm going to have to probably find a few more winners and support myself in other ways.
That's the truth, mate. Well, we do appreciate all of your great work, mate. All the very best. We'll be cheering hard for these tips tonight, and we'll keep in touch heading forward.
All right, no worries, Shorty. Thanks for everything. Take care, mate.
There we have it. Jace Campbell with us this morning here on A Great Grays, where it's now bang on 25 minutes after 10. Unfortunately, no Neil Brown today. He did ring and apologise yesterday, the Hall of Famer. He's got a convention on at the Healesville Greyhounds today because there's no Sandown chasing tonight. It's the Friday night meeting at Sandown. So he can't make it live on the program, but he has been good enough to send through some plays for Warrnambool tonight and then his thoughts for tomorrow night there at Sandown. So I'll read those out before we get back to Matty and prepare for the first race of the day there that we'll be taking here on the program. As we touched on, if you missed it earlier on today, Glenn Ingram, one of his better bets of the day coming up in the first there at Seymour. But before that, Neil Brown, his thoughts for what is a big couple of nights in store from Greyhound Racing. And he goes to Warrnambool tonight, and he's going with best bets race 5 and Exacta, 6 and 8. So that's Annihilation and Croydon. So 6 and 8 in race number 5. And then a multi races 5 and 6, Annihilation and Baby Beats. So their numbers 6 and races 5 and 6, Annihilation and Baby Beats. So Annihilation and Baby Beats. And he's also keen on the prospects of race 9, number 1, Port Tabitha. So best bets, race 5, Exacta, 6 and 8, Croydon. Multi with Annihilation and Baby Beats. And then race 9, number 1, Port Tabitha. To Sandown on Friday, first leg of the quaddie, 1, 2 and 4, leg 1. Second leg, numbers 1, 2 and 4 again. The third leg, numbers 8, 4 and 1. And then in the fourth leg, numbers 4, 8 and 6. So for the early quaddie, Sandown, Friday night, Neil Brown, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8, 4, 1, 4, 8, 6. On to the main quaddie, race number 5 and number 1 on top, Poor Oswald, 1, 8 and 5. Second leg, numbers 1, 8 and 3. In the third leg, numbers 1, 3 and 2. And then in the final leg, race number 8, he's coming home with 3, 4 and 7. So in recap, the main quaddie, Sandown Friday night for Neil Brown, 185 leg 1, 183 leg 2, 132 leg 3, home with 3, 4 and 7. In race number 9, the shootout, of course, the race won in its inaugural year by the great Reggie Might. And of course, back in those days, we had Ronnie Hawkswell calling all of the action. It was a ripper first edition. Bang, they're off in the shootout, and it was the one of my all-time favourite WA sprinters in Reggie Might that got the cash in the first ever shootout all those years ago. This year, Brownie's suggesting that number 5, Barefoot Zulu, should be getting the job done. Early pace, should lead and be very hard to run down. Looks to be a very, very talented youngster, Barefoot Zulu. So that's race 9, number 5. And his other best bet on the card, race 2, number 1, Smooth Plane. The veteran, been a wonderful campaigner right the way through. So race 2, number 1, Smooth Plane. And in the shootout, race 9, number 5, Barefoot Zulu for Brownie. If you've missed those, all of those tips will go up onto the Tab Touch blog as well as across our social media a little bit later on this afternoon. Matty, we might swing back to you there at Tab Touch headquarters. We've got a minute and a half to go until race 9 here at Seymour. Have a look at the market update here on the first. Take race number 1. When we return, we'll talk to another one of our wonderful contributors on this program across there in South Australia, in Sean Matheson, right after the first here at Seymour. Time to cross the border, head across to South Australia and catch up with Sean Matheson, who has been excellent. Was lucky enough to meet Sean a number of years ago across here in WA when I think it was one of the nationals that were taking place. He's been a wonderful, wonderful tipster and a lot of fun to catch up with each and every Thursday in recent years. It's great to have him on the program one final time. Hello, Sean. Welcome. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Yeah, terrific, David. Yeah, no, really enjoyed when I'd catch up with you in Perth. Many years ago, it was for the Nationals. And, yeah, I've been in the industry a long time. Certainly nowhere near as long as Neil Brown, who you have on the show. But definitely been in for a long time and certainly enjoy my catch-ups with you every week, which gives terrific exposure to our SA Greyhounds and our feature races. So always enjoyed my time with you on the show and hopefully, getting a few winners for the listeners and long may it continue.
Indeed, yeah, you've been a very fine judge, and while the radio station's finishing up, I'm sure there'll be many opportunities for us to still do some work together to promote the sport, and I'll never be dropping the ball on this particular caper. It's a sport that's got a lot of fine people involved, and we'll continue to do what we can to drive it along and get as many people excited and interested about it. Now, let's see if we can't find a few winners. For the punters, we've got Thursday night chasing at Angle Park. First race gets underway 10 minutes past 4 WA time. Take us through your thoughts for tonight's card there at Angle Park.
Yeah, so the first of the best bets, David, comes up in race 7 tonight, and it's number 6, Lincoln Girl for Cameron Forshaw. It's a small field of 5 greyhounds, but a really good middle distance race, and Lincoln Girl's really in a purple patch of form. She's had 2 good wins over the 5:30, and last week over the 5:95, she ran really quick time in running 34:29. She's a greyhound. I feel like she does really well when she's got a target in front of her with other dogs, and I think that'll happen tonight. And I think she's going to really put her best paw forward here. And around that $3 in a small field, just think she lobs, just off the speed, but her last part of the race will be quite good. So she's in real good form at the $3. She'd be the first of our best bets.
Alrighty, so we've got race 7, number 6, Lincoln Girl as our first play there at $3 on the fixed odds with Tab Touch. The second of your plays?
The second, I always like to try to find one in our feature final, and we've got a wonderful feature final tonight, the Brian Johnson Group 3 final, $50,000 race. And the favourite in this race is very short and dashing Geordie for Gavin Harris. But it's just been off the boil a little bit, and I wouldn't be taking such a short price about him. So I'm looking at maybe getting a bit of value for the listener. So I like number 1 in race 8 tonight, White Hawk, around that $11 mark. A nice up-and-coming for Scott Behrens, a good second last week. And I just feel there's dogs with a bit of speed in the race but are not overly strong. White Hawk's got a little bit of strength about him, and he's drawn really well in a Group 3 final. So at the $11, hopefully just poke up on the first turn. If he could hold out and run, second on the rail, third on the rail, I think that would be a really nice spot for him. And a little bit of luck late, you never know. But at the $11, I'd be more inclined to look that way and just risk the favourite.
All right, so double digits and a nice play in the feature, the Brian Johnston tonight over the 5:30. Number 1, White Hawk for Scott Behrens. It's $12 the fix, $2.45 the place. You don't have to have much on to find out there tonight. Punters race 8, number 1, White Hawk. And the third of your place tonight there at Angle Park, Sean.
The third will come up in race 10, and it's our Masters race. And I like number 8, Black Chip here for Vadim Roz. Around that $2.30 mark. One of the favourites of the race. Can handle a wide draw. Actually has won 5 races from drawing out in 7 and 8, and should get a nice run across where the 7 OK Boomer on his inside does come out running. So he should get into the race really well. And again, a bit like Lincoln Girl, the best part of his race is late, but he does like to get to the rail. So it'd be nice to see him sitting 3rd or 4th on the rail into the back straight with that nice run across. And then he'll be really strong late. So look for him, up the home straight to hopefully be poking through and getting the win.
All righty, so we go with the Fairy Floss runner to round it out. Race 10 at number 8, Black Chip, to go along with 8-1 White Hawk each way and 7-6 Lincoln Girl tonight there at Angle Park. We've got Murray Bridge chasing on Friday and also Gawler on Sunday. And if the punters are having a bet tomorrow at Murray Bridge, worth noting it's a very early start for WA punters.
Yeah, like 11:01 SA time, so that's very early in WA. So, and the first few races on the program are over the straight track as well, David. So, but I do like one in race 10 on the program, and it's number 1 Bree for Damien Smith. She was a short price favourite last start, got squeezed out of her on the first turn. I think she'll be much better from the inside draw here in this race, which is slightly down on what she raced last week. So with a nice beginning, I do think she can bounce back and get the win there tomorrow at Murray Bridge. And then on Gawler on Sunday, 9-race program. I like race 4, number 5, Our Beaver for Tiana Yench. He's actually run against wicket 5 runs ago. He ran second. That was a good run. He's been gradually getting back up to the 500 metres, a couple of good short course performances. So draw in the middle there, our Beaver, I think, can get the money for us there on Sunday night at Gawler.
All right, the Yellow Rug, race 4, number 5, Our Beaver at Gawler on Sunday to go along with race 10, number 1, Bree at Murray Bridge, that early kick-off there on Friday. We really do appreciate all of your fine work, Sean. As I said to Jace not long ago, I'll be working through until Christmas under current scenario, so we'll endeavour to keep in contact, still get your tips right up to Christmas, which we can put up onto the blog and across all of the social media networks. But on behalf of all the radio station, all of our listeners and myself, a huge thank you for your fine work over a significant period of time, and the very best wishes for everyone across there in SA Chasing heading forward.
Excellent, David. Really appreciate it. And to you, you're a terrific promoter of the industry. So it's a bit of a sad loss not to have these catch-ups verbally. But again, South Australian Racing's all been the better for you helping promote them through your show. So we do appreciate it.
Good man. Thank you very much, Sean. Sean Matheson with us this morning here on Great Grays, where it's now 20 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Matty, I'm pretty sure we'd now have the divvies through for race number 1 of the day there at Seymour, and we're now only 9 minutes away from the first race for broadcast from Port Macquarie.
Port Macquarie, the favourite at $1.22 still is Immortal Storm. Next best in a point to $7 Purple Kitty. First leg of the first quad with $1.80 tote number 5 Immortal Storm, and SR1 at $10.50.
Well, a couple of years ago now, of course, we had Tim Newbold, the battler, as our man from New South Wales, but he was moving on to new things, and he said, Shorty, I've got the right man to fill my boots. At the time, I said, oh, that sounds good. He said he's got a bit of a profile. He's an ex-Olympian, and what he brought to the table was dual World Cup success. He was a dual winner of Champions Trophy in 2009 and 2012, a dual Commonwealth Games gold medalist in 2010 in Delhi, in 2014 in Glasgow, and he's brought that gold medal form to the team here on Great Grays each and every Thursday. And for the final time, it's great to welcome Simon Orchard to the program. Hello there, Simon.
Oh, g'day, Shorty, mate. Thank you very much. I'll put the money straight into your account. Sounds like a pretty good resume. You didn't add mug punter as well, mate. But look, big shoes to fill for Timmy Newbold, because he's a star of GRNSW. But, mate, I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You and all the team over there, Matty, and everyone I talk to each week, you've made it a pleasure to be part of the show, and I really appreciate going on the journey with greyhound fans over there in Perth, a place that I've lived for a decade and loved every minute of it.
Indeed, and of course that will continue on. We can continue to follow Simon's handiwork at thedogs.com.au, where he does a great job along with the team across there in New South Wales. And as we've also said, up until Christmas, we'll endeavour to keep in contact with Simon, and we'll still post these across our social media, so the Great Grays family won't be going without in relation to following your favourite contributors from our program heading forward. But we've got lots to look forward to in New South Wales greyhound racing. It doesn't seem to matter what time of year. There's always some really good racing going on. As we do each week, I'll handball across to you, good self, and you can take us through some of the highlights.
Yeah, thank you, Shorty. Now tonight, the Pine Bowl. If you're going to have one bet, race 5, number 7, Skedaddle Arlo, a dog who's had some really good form over the sprint trip the last few months, stepped up to 600 last start, and who's beaten by a greyhound that's pretty good, Vodka and Ice, who's a brother to Late Night News. So some good pedigree tonight. Vodka and Ice has been scratched, so why not butter up with Skedaddle Arlo on top? Race 5, number 7 at Nowra. Wenty Part, the best bet, race 6, number 3, Zipper Show. This dog's a brother to Zipper on Time, who just keeps on keeping on. Won in the Laurels heats down there at Sandown the other night. And this dog, Zipper Show, I think, has got ability as well. I think he can lead, and I think he can win. So 6-3 at Wenty Park. Casino tomorrow, the Casino Cup. Race 8 on the program. I like Apache Tiger, the favourite. There's a lot of good local dogs in the race, Shorty. I think you want to be on pace, no secret at Casino. I think this dog can either lead, sit outside the lead, or even just behind the 1, Karinga Millie. He's the best dog in the race, and that's why he's the favourite. So I like 8-2 Apache Tiger. And then just quickly on Saturday, Brother Fox Heats, the second edition for 2025. Race 6, number 1, Laura Keeping. Group 1 winner, back at home in Dubbo. She's gone from J.R. Patea back to Charmaine and Shane Stiff out there, and she ran 29.35 3 weeks ago. She's boxed beautifully. I think she's still a really good price, about $3.20 last time I checked, and she should lead. Dubbo favours on-pace runners, and I think she can win. 6-1 Laura Keeping. They're the best bets, mate, over the next few days. And I just want to say a big thank you to you, mate. The legacy that you've left, and you've certainly inspired me to learn more about the caper and this great sport that we all love and enjoy. So good luck on the next chapter, whatever you get up to, and hopefully we can stay in touch.
We'll definitely stay in touch, Simon. And, every 2 years we've sort of promised a group of guys that we'll be going across for $1 Million Chase and the Everest. And I'm sure when I'm in town myself, the train and that wacky group of fellas will all be looking you up and having a quiet drink with you when we're next in Sydney town. So thanks so much for all of your work, and indeed to the Battler and everyone that's come on through the journey when people have been away as well. A great group of guys involved in your media team across there, and always a pleasure to deal with. So huge thank you to you guys. Continued success to you all, and we'll chat again very soon.
Good on you, mate. It's the only lie you've ever told me, a quiet drink. There's no such thing. Have a good one, mate.
Good man. There we have it. Simon Orchard, gold medalist when it comes to sport, and a gold medalist when it comes to being a human being as well. He's been an absolute star for us here on the program, and a ripper fella, even better in person. Well, that brings to a close Great Greys. We put this show together going back a number of years ago now when looking to add a point of difference to our programming. There's, of course, been many shows focusing on just the local stuff, but I thought it was important to have a program each week where we could showcase the absolute top liners when it comes to our sport and the big racing that's on. And, of course, turnover is a big part of what we do when it comes to trying to maintain prize money levels and the like, and getting good judges on the program to talk our best top-line sprinters and stayers on a Thursday seemed like a good idea. Here we are all these years down the track now, and it stood the test of time until the close of the radio station. So a huge thanks to all of our contributors on the way through, to my station managers who've been good enough to give me the opportunity to put this program and take a chance on it, to everybody in the sport of greyhound racing and the punters who tune in, week out. You're the people that we do this for, and I have nothing but love for you all. You've been incredibly supportive of me right the way through my journey, almost 30 years on TAB radio. There's still more to come. There's Chasing Winners tomorrow, some more segments with Digby and TC tomorrow, and then it rounds out with Marty Young on the aftermath for me on Sunday morning. So I won't go too far over the top. There's still plenty of people I'd like to thank on the way through before I bid everyone a farewell from this station. But just from this program perspective, to the Shane Train, obviously to Neil Brown, who couldn't make it today, but his contribution, to Jace Campbell, Sean Matheson, Simon Orchard, and the man that's got the controls there at TAB Radio headquarters, Matt McDermott. He's just the unsung hero of this show, week in, week out. It runs like clockwork, and it's all due to his professionalism. And not only is he a lot of fun to work with, but we've forged a great relationship. He's one of the wittiest and funniest men. His knowledge of music is second to none. He's so quick to pick up on a theme that might be going on with a dog name or a race and bring it to where. He's brought me great mirth and been a wonderful workmate over a really long period of time. So we'll sign off from Great Greys for the final time here on TAB Radio. Very grateful for the opportunity that we've been afforded, and hope in some small way that it's helped you to enjoy the sport of greyhound racing. Thank you, Matty, for all of your great work, and to all of the listeners. I'll be back on deck tomorrow morning from just after 6:30 with the boys on the Sports Daily. Until then, many winners.
Thanks, Shorty. For one last time, see you tomorrow.